Hi, this is Joe. I'm going to talk about the S&P 500 index today, and I'm going to talk about why I think the market is going to break out here, and then what I think is the most likely scenario after that happens. And I'm also going to mention sentiment and where that stands right now. I did want to mention that I am doing mentoring, coaching for people, and that people that want to improve their trading skills and or the ability to improve their analysis of the charts. I work with all skill levels, and also wanted to send out a request for symbols. If there's any stocks that you want analyzed on one of the videos, please send that over in the comment area. Happy to include that in any videos, and if I get enough, I can spend time going through a number of them. Lastly, let's make sure we hit that like button if you like the analysis, if you enjoy the analysis. So let's get into the charts. I'm going to go and start with the S&P once again on a monthly chart. Really not much of a change except the fact that we finished out the month, and if you notice, we had a really strong finish to the month, and now we've started off this month on a really positive note, and it really is starting to look like it's sort of inevitable that we're going to go and take out this high and hit a new high here. Let me just switch to the weekly real quick. So we can see now we've filled this gap that from the peak and how violent that decline was. We've now filled that area out. I guess it's possible that now that we've done that we could see some resistance come in, but I want to make sure I give you a quick look at the sentiment numbers. And so, if we look at this, I think it's just important that, I brought this up probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago when it had reached right about 40 level. And it's actually still staying under 40. It's at like 39 and a fraction. And so even though the market is pushing higher, it's not really causing more bulls to kick in. And so what that tells me in my experience with this indicator is that the market needs to go up higher and maybe a little bit stronger to get people more bullish. And then once that happens, and I think if we go back and look at the monthly chart, and if you notice, the monthly chart is at very close to hitting a new high. And what bugs me is when you go to a new peak and you're already overbought, meaning we're up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months into this move, and we're going to be hitting a new high here. And so I always talk about breakouts being really questionable when you hit a new high and you're already overbought, and if you're stretched away from the moving average. So if we go back and look at the weekly chart, look at how far away we are from the 18-week. If we break out, we're going to be stretched away from both those moving averages, and that to me sets the stage for some type of a retracement after it breaks out. A lot of times you need the market to actually go and hit that new high level, get people a little bit more bullish, get the market a little overbought, maybe get some stops taken out, maybe get a few people to feel like they have to buy now that it's breaking to new highs. And then we get the real opportunity for some type of a consolidation or a correction. Now, I mean, it is possible that we could just go ahead and take off here and accelerate. But I think, I'm not really going to have a prediction. I'm going to wait and analyze and see what the sentiment numbers do. If the sentiment numbers are grudgingly moving over 40, if they don't pop, if they don't make a big move with the market, then I'm going to assume we're going to keep moving higher. So it's really all about, do people sort of cave in, and do they, jump aboard and say, you know what, I am bullish here, and it'll be reflected in those sentiment numbers. So I'm sort of waiting and seeing. Right now, the charts actually look pretty good, and the thing that I had mentioned last time, if we look at this, the ADX being low, it hasn't really kicked in. One thing I did want to show is if we zoom in a little bit, notice how the DI, green DI, has gone to a new high here. That didn't really happen the last time. So if you compared this peak here in price and the DI, and then look at it here, it really didn't change much. It went to a minor new high, but not much compared to price. This time, Price is making a new high, and we're getting a pretty good strength in the buyers. I'm sort of impressed by what's taking place. So I think that is enough to probably launch this thing into new highs, again, getting to that 3,400 level. And then after that, we're just going to have to see, how bullish people get. And that's really where I'm going to be concerned. So just hanging around this 39 and change level in the sentiment numbers, I think is actually very bullish. Let's take a quick look at the QQQ. Again, let's go and look at the 4 charts. One of the things I wanted to mention is, so if you look at the 18 and the 40 on all these time frames, they're all bullish. All 4 time frames, you have the 18 above the 40, and both lines are rising. Now, one thing I want to mention is, based on the fact that we've accelerated here on the monthly chart, the 18 is probably going to start rising at a faster rate than the 40. And the same thing is already starting to take place on the weekly chart. If you notice, the 18 is rising at a slightly faster pace than the 40. And that to me means that this is more of an accelerated move as opposed to more of a sequential wave where you make nice orderly up moves and then pullbacks and then up move and pull back. Right now it looks like it's surging, and this 18 is telling you that it's probably getting late. But as I mentioned the last time, if we go into a surging market phase, there's probably going to be some more upside here, and it could happen pretty quickly. The daily chart still has an 18 and 40 that are pretty parallel. I haven't actually seen this accelerate, and I think before this is over, we're going to see that 18 rising at a faster rate than it is taking place on the 40 MA, and there's going to be more separation in these lines. This is still in a pretty strong trend from that vantage point. So really not a whole lot of analysis on the hourly, other than the fact that if we go and look at the Qs, really the ADX is in pretty good shape in all of these time frames, except for the monthly. And as I said, the monthly chart tends to lag when there's a lot of volatility. So that could eventually kick in. I think it's more important to look at the weekly, the daily, and the hourly when I'm looking at the momentum indicator. So that's our update on the market. Please send in any comments related to any individual stocks you want to talk about. All right? Talk to you soon.